Hey there YouTube, it's Just95 here, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. In this video I'm going to try and get to the moon, but this is a post-recording, so I do know the outcome, and it's not a good outcome. I mean, it's failed. So, unfortunately, Bill, Bob and Jebediah all die in this one clip, but at the end I do decide I'm going to show off another one of my 4 recorded attempts at trying to get to the moon. And 2 of them ended the same way, and the other 2 ended the same way as well. It was like 2 died and 2 didn't. But you'll see that the way that the other ones ended wasn't good either. But it's just something that's there. I do apologise for the lag. My computer really cannot run Kerbal Space Program. But anyway, as you might have seen already, I am using a few mods. In this build I'm only using like the shuttle mod. I'm using the solid rocket boosters from the shuttle because they last a bit longer than the solid rocket boosters that you get with the default Kerbal Space Program. Even though I do use the default ones, that's just for the initial thrust, just because I get a bit more power from it. But these do last a lot longer. I think they last about 30 to 40 seconds longer, so it's good. So, as you also see, it is an overkill of a space shuttle, spaceship, whatever you want to call it, because I intended to just build this for anything really. I could use it to, with the fuel I can just, if I swap out the secondary fuel tank, which is powering the nuclear engine, I could probably get this to Joule, which is the biggest and furthest out planet, and I'd still probably have enough fuel left in the lander to land on Joule, but it's Joule, you cannot land there if it's a gas giant, etc, etc. But anyway, today we are just going to get to the moon, because the moon is cool. I like the way I say moon. It's better than moon. Moon is boring. Moon is a lot nicer. Moon. Right, so yes, it was either moon or Minmus, but yeah. So as you see, doing a gravity turn now, it's about 8,000, 9,000 meters, which for this sort of ship is about right. But in this I do actually do the EVA and all that sort of stuff as well. And I'm really bad when it comes to EVA because I always like miss the rendezvous with the ship again. I spend about 10 minutes in EVA usually. This is the shortest I've ever EVA'd for, as in like not wanting to get back. So I'm just trying to get a bit of a dramatic angle here. I should do apologise for the like black on the 2 sides. I put it in to record at what I do Minecraft, which is 1280 by 740, because the taskbar at the top where you've got your clothes minimise and all that takes up an extra 20 pixels, so I put 1280 by 740. But for some reason it doesn't like that. It goes, nope, we're not giving you 1280, we're going to give you 1240 by 720, or something like that. I don't know what it actually puts it to, but it isn't 1280 by 720, or 1280 by 740, which is what I customly set it to, but it doesn't like that. So anyway, this is Bertha. It uses, I think it's 10 of the liquid fuel engine booster, yeah, 10 of the liquid fuel things that are on the outside for the exterior ones, and it's got 3 of them on the interior one, which this one is literally just to get me into the out of the atmosphere. These 4, they're not meant to do anything else, but for both of these that I'm going to be showing off, it actually does a lot more than that. These get me into a pretty stable sort of start for an orbit. They're not getting me into an orbital velocity, which is good, but they're not getting me like nowhere. Not like I'm having to rely on the second engine. These are doing the job. I think this is second to last actually. I can't really see the screen because it's quite small, but I think this is second to last fuel tank that I've got like spare, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to wait until these go. Yeah, I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last set of fuel now. So this is the last 3,300 litres, and these do burn the fuel quite well. These mainsail engines, which I'm using. But I mean, if you're wondering what mods I do use, I do have quite a few different ones. I've got I've installed stuff like MechJeb, which I don't know if I'd actually run out of fuel there. I must have done. Anyway, so I've got like MechJeb, aviation lights, shuttle. I've got a few aero packs for stuff like the spaceplane hangar, because I do like spaceplanes. I like them quite a lot. I'd probably say a lot more than the space shuttles and the spaceships, but I do play around with the spaceplane hangar a lot, basically is what I'm saying. And I wanted to get more stuff because I don't think there's enough for that, so do that. So I don't know what I'm doing now. I think I'm just using the throttle to try and the thrust and the throttle. I'm trying to use that just to gain a bit of control. Because I didn't want to use the RCS. I don't like using the RCS because I see that as like a last resort fuel. I mean, I'll use it if need be, but the ship is pretty controllable. This one is. It's easy to control no matter what you're using. So we're just about to get ready to hit the apoapsis. I'm not too sure where it is. I think it's about 100 meters, 100,000 meters. Sorry, not 100 meters. That'd be pretty low. I think this ship, when it takes off, is about 100 meters, where the cockpit is to start with. So that would be bad. But yeah, so we're just hitting the throttle now, and I don't know what I'm doing actually, because I don't think I used the map for most of this one. I usually use the map quite a lot, but this one I was quite lucky with this orbit actually, because I didn't actually pay attention to where the moon was, and I thought I'd just missed a moon encounter because of the EVA that I'm going to do. But I was lucky enough not to miss the encounter. I literally just got it, but I'm getting good with the moon encounters. They're pretty easy now. The next step is going to be the Minmus encounters, and then it will obviously be Duna and Eve. Duna or Eve, actually, should I say. Once I've got one of them sorted out, then I'll do the other, and then it'll be Moho, or I want to say it's Jewel afterwards, but I'm not sure. I mean, if I can get a ship to Jewel without Kerbal Space Program just crashing, that'd be great. So I'm trying to circularize the orbit. I did leave it a little bit too late. I'm supposed to burn right on the apoapsis, but that's not too bad. I mean, we do get an orbit, so the periapsis is, when we get to about here, I start to check. The periapsis is about 60,000, and we're at about 100 and something on the apoapsis. So it takes me a minute to realise that I need to do another orbit before I can circularise this more. But where the moon is now, I would not have been able to burn to it because the apoapsis is behind us. We need the moon to be about 45 degrees to the apoapsis when you start to do your exit from Kerbal burn, like your moon encounter burn. I don't know what you want to call it, but yes. So I don't know whether I skipped along some of those bits in my editing because I edited this about 5 hours ago, and then I left to go shopping, and I've come home and I thought, fuck it, I'll do the commentary of KSP today, because I was going to do this tomorrow, but I couldn't be bothered. It's like, I want to get KSP out today and do Battlefield or Battlefield, Call of Duty, or some other random shooter game tomorrow. But knowing me, it'll probably be Tekkit or Technic. No, it'll be Technic, because Tekkit's been a dick to me, so I'll get on to that when I get a new computer, which hopefully should be here before November. But it won't, because what's the date today? It's 27th, so no, it won't be here before Black Ops 2. Ugh, I want it for Black Ops 2, but it looks like I'm going to be getting it on PS3 first, and that's not a problem. It means I know what I'm doing, because I'm not a good PC gamer, so that's always fun. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to use as a thumbnail for this yet. I've got a few ideas, because I took quite a lot of screenshots while going through this, and I usually put screenshots up on Twitter, so you can follow me on there, twitter.com/#!/Jonathan95, and you can get some random updates from me. It's usually just the YouTube stuff that goes on there, just so you know when I've uploaded, but I do other stuff on there as well. I talk to friends and just reply to random things I see on my Twitter feed and stuff like that. So I'm trying to circularize the orbit again. I think I do it to more avail this time. It's a bit better. So I don't know, but when you're about 90 degrees either way from them, then you know it's about circular. I mean, I think there's about 20,000 meters difference between them, but I don't care. It's not that big of a difference. I mean, if I was trying to make a satellite for a TV company, that would be bad, but it doesn't bother me. So yeah, I'm hoping to do more KSP when I get my new computer because I do enjoy KSP. It's one of them games that go on there. Right, I'm just gonna try for a moon encounter. I'm just gonna land on the moon, and I try to land on the moon, and I die. Usually, I usually die on the moon. But it's one of them games where it's like, okay, I didn't land on the moon that time, but I'm gonna do it again. Let's go to the moon, the moon, the moon. I'm probably making more work for myself because I'm probably going to put some stupid text saying moon on the screen every time I say moon. Moon. Yes, moon. Right, anyway. Enough of the moon. We don't need to know about the moon. I think the next video I'm going to do for KSP is going to be Minmus, which is the other moon. Not moon. It's the other moon of Kerbin, not Kerbal. Kerbal is the space program. And then we'll go, because Minmus is on a bit of a different orbit trajectory. I will have to do some orbital changes, which is annoying. I may like watch Mech Jeb do a couple of Minmus burns and see how it's done before I attempt to do it. Because I'm doing this without Mech Jeb because Mech Jeb is just cheating. And I think it was about here. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to EVA someone. I don't know who to EVA, but I didn't want to EVA Jeb because EVAing Jeb's a bit risky. I think that was a screenshot there. I'm guessing that was a screenshot. Yeah, that was a screenshot. So yeah, I think that's a pretty nice screenshot, that one was. I tried to make my screenshots always look good. I mean, some of them are just stupid, but they usually have meaning. So I tried to press that time and it didn't work. I'm having click problems as well with my mouse on KSP. It's a bit stupid. So just gonna extend the ladder just so that you've got more of a chance of getting the Kerbal back onto the ship, because it's kind of hard to do that. Because I usually overshoot, as I say. I mean, they have a lot of thrust in their rocket packs, and I might try that at some point. Try and use the Kerbal to get me to another planet, because if you didn't know, you can get your Kerbal out, put them in behind, and then use their rocket pack to get you some speed. But it's a bit risky because obviously you can't always get your Kerbal back. And if you're using a one-man pod, that would be really bad. But I mean, I'm using the 3-man pod, so it's all okay. All okay! And I mean, as you see now, it's just like impossible for me to control. I mean, the lag doesn't help. Because, I mean, I think when I was playing this, while recording I was getting about 4 frames per second. So yeah, it wasn't good. And I don't usually get much better than that when I'm not recording. It's about 6, 7. Can't wait for my new computer, so I get some lag-free KSP. And when I get my new computer, I might also get like a controller, because I like controllers, like a joystick sort of thing. Joystick and the I keep saying that, thrust and throttle controller. Same thing, throttle controller. So I don't need to like use the shift and control, because I sometimes press the Windows key, and that can really annoy me, because that's caused me to crash a few times pressing that. And KSP still simulates in the background, and it crashes me, which can be bad. So I was just like, no, we're going to get back onto this ship now. Let's just get back onto there, grab that. There we go. Back into the ship we go. I was a bit worried here because it looked like he was flying away there, and I think that was just like the ship being faster than him. Poor Bill. I think it's Bill I took out anyway, I'm not sure. Let's board. And I think it's this point that I go into the map view. Or I do in a minute anyway. Go into the map view and I find out that I'm a bit fucked, basically. And you'll see me do a technique that I've never actually seen anyone else do before with that nuclear engine, because it is basically an overkill engine. That's just there in case that secondary thruster gets used up a bit before it needs to be used up. I mean, I do usually use it up getting into the orbit of the moon, because the moon is a bit hard. The moon, and I mean, I do usually use it and it gets there perfectly, but I can usually get into orbit with that thruster and then it runs out. But I have used it to slow me down. I think it was in this one actually. I used it to slow me down and get me into the landing trajectory. But I think I still use the nuclear engine just to slow me down, and then I use it as my guidance. You'll probably like guidance. What do you mean guidance? What it is you could just use just a little tank. Just doesn't need to be big. It could just be an RCS tank, just so that you can have a decoupler and then something there and another decoupler. And the RCS tank, obviously, you can use while you're in space and flying around and shit. But you can use that just so you can drop it. And yeah, I'm time warping here just because it takes a bit of time. And do we get an encounter yet? But no. What you can do is you can do that, and oh no, I go around a few times actually before I get a muner encounter because the moon is a bit moony. That's Kerbal there, I think. I'm not sure which one was which. But anyway, as I was saying, you can just drop the RCS tank when you are not too sure where the ground is, but you think you're close, and you just can then drop it, and when it hits the floor, if you're watching it, you can see where it's going to drop. So as you see here, I'm just widening it out. I was trying to circularise my orbit here, but failing epically, obviously. There we go, muner encounter. Moon. I like the moon. And now here's the bit that I've never been really good at, but I'm starting to perfect the art of doing it now, which is circularising an orbit that isn't complete. Sorry if you can hear voices in the background, people are loud in my house. But yeah, so actually I'm not sure if I actually tried to circularise an orbit this time. I'm not sure, because I want to land on the bright side of the moon, the sunlit side. I don't like the dark side. Ah, there we go. Because sometimes when I go for a moon, I can't remember which one to record, that's why. Because sometimes I just go straight in and like, I'm going to try and land this. I see I've got a few ships that are landed on there, but I think that was a mech Jeb one, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, so as soon as you hit the periapsis, literally just point your ship towards the periapsis. You can be past it, it doesn't matter, but you can just point it straight to the periapsis now. It doesn't have to be directly, it can be somewhere over there. Just like now, as you see, the orbit the escape orbit is going out wider, but also the orbit of the moon is going through as well. And there we go, we have an orbit. We'll just bring that in a bit more because that's a pretty eccentric orbit. And that's about even. So now we've still got a bit of fuel left in that tank. I mean, look, we didn't even need that nuclear fuel tank. And do we get a Kerbal rise? There's the sun gone. Do we get a Kerbal rise? I can't remember. I think we did, because I think I just yep, there we go. That was a screenshot there as well. And screenshot. I'm one for taking screenshots on Kerbal Space Program. I have about 1 billion of these things. My Kerbal Space Program is probably about 2 to 7% pictures, which is bad because I have a lot of mods and a lot of other things in there that take up the stuff. So, too far. Time warp lag, yay! Yeah, I have that problem where I time warp a bit too quickly and it lags out. But hopefully with the new computer that won't happen. So, I'm starting to get into the bright side of the moon, the sunlit side of the moon again. So, we shall try for a braking burn. Because with a braking burn, obviously, that means that you're going to start to hit the moon now. The moon. I like the moon. I do hope I don't go and do some text editing now, because I've said moon about 1 billion times because I like the word moon. I think it's funny when I say moon. I don't know what you think about that word, but I think moon sounds a lot nicer than moon. I'd like if our moon was called the moon. And then, like, we called Pluto Minmus, that'd be hilarious. But no, I mean, I don't see why the Kerbal orbit is like it is, the Kerbal solar system. The Kerbal system, that's the right word, the Kerbal system. I mean, the Kerbal system is quite a good system, but it's a bit weird. So anyway, we are now aiming towards the periapsis once again, and we are going to do our braking burn. So we get to periapsis, we'll hold it with the SAS, and wait for it. Need to make sure it's perfect. I was trying to make sure it was pointing into the moon bit, and we start up the engine again, and we initiate the braking burn. So as you see now, the apoapsis is becoming our new destination. So we're now at the apoapsis, just a little bit before it, and we are just closing up our orbit. And each time I've done both of these recordings, I do realise that I was doing this a little bit too far out. I should have been doing it at about 50,000 metres at a maximum. I was doing it at about 100,000, which is a bit stupid. But just from the tank, I think that still had a bit of fuel in it. I'm not too sure. So, no, I don't think it did actually, because I'm still using the nuclear engine to close this up. I think I say nuclear weird as well. I say a lot of words really weirdly. I do apologise. But yeah, I'm just closing up this orbit once again. And we're just trying to get this as short as possible. And I don't know why I kept doing this. It's just a bit stupid, I know. But you'll see the death of me in a minute, because doing this, it's a bit stupid, but I don't care. I mean, as you see, I'm closing this up and it's becoming more of a polar orbit now, technically, because the apoapsis is now directly on top of us, and it's gone the other way. So, I thought I was heading towards the apoapsis here, just so you know. So I quit that, and I start to time warp, because I'm an idiot. Right, yes, so we're time warping, and oh dear, we're going towards the planet. I didn't think we were. So I literally just jettisoned the tank here. I didn't actually use this as a guide on this one, because I totally forgot which one this one was, because I recorded a few clips and looked through them all. And so we just point it towards the apoapsis, or the top, which I spent too long doing really, because we're 16,000 metres and we're going a lot faster than we should be. So let's just get that booster on. Go! We need to slow down quickly. So yeah, you can tell what's going to be the death of us, can't you? We're going to hit the ground too hard, but we're going to try and stop this. So we do that. We're going to put the landing gear down, and I'm going to stop talking here. I'm going to let the audio of the game tell you the results, and then we're going to time lapse through the second flight. So that's it for this episode of Kerbal Space Program. I'll see you next video, guys. Just95, I'm signing out. I do hope you've enjoyed KSP. I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.
second. Lights on. Lights. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. Good. 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 1.5. 30 seconds forward, drift. Good. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, point. Tranquility, we copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.